Okay, so leaf cleanup is underway in mid-Michigan here, October 17th, perfect fall-like temps. We haven't had a lot of rain, so I was able to get the gutters cleaned out relatively easily. However, I'm gonna have to do it a lot, and I wanna get up there again because that maple tree just drops leaves everywhere like crazy. Landscaping areas, all on the side gravel. The grass I'm not really worried about because I can chop them up with the mower, kind of like what I did yesterday. And you can burn them as well. I don't like doing that. I tried that. It's a pretty efficient process. It's definitely not eco-friendly by any means. You know, you're just releasing all those chemicals and toxic carcinogens into the environment. So that's not necessarily the only reason I don't like doing it. I don't like doing it also because it just really affects my allergies trying to breathe that crap in, and it's not something I want to deal with. Not fun. Bad experience doing that. So with this maple tree here, this is massive too. Just dumped a whole bunch of leaves over, mainly on the gravel area. I mean, they still drop everywhere, but I blew everything out towards the grass and then chopped them up with the mower. Okay, so mulch them down really good. And that's kind of that. I hate traditional methods of bagging and picking them up, scooping them. It's just, you're basically just throwing away free nutrients for your soil. Not to mention it's costing you money on those bags. They're like, what, $3 for 5, something like that. But 5 leaf bags, what's that gonna get you? I'd probably have to go through a couple hundred leaf bags, to be honest with you, if I were to do it that way for the whole lawn, because you got 2 maple trees there and here. The magnolia tree doesn't start dropping for a little while towards the end, but I don't like to mulch those leaves because some trees, especially that, plus like a black walnut, if you start mulching those leaves, it's got those chemicals in it that will inhibit growth from surrounding grasses, plants, trees, etc. So that's kind of a pain to deal with. I don't know, but I'm not really too worried about that just yet. So what I got going on here, I started using this leaf vac a couple years ago. I don't really like it because it's a pain to deal with. It's heavy, bulky to move around. You got to deal with the cord. And while it does chop it up pretty nice, I typically don't like using this, so I haven't really done it, but I wanted to try something different. So especially for the front, where I scooped everything up, mulched it, and then basically just put it in all these fine particle piles, essentially, right? I mean, look at that. It really breaks it down and shreds it up nicely. So my plan, I'm just going to add it in like a top dressing, and you can kind of see how I distribute it. I'm going to take the rake and rake it into the soil, and then use the leaf blower to kind of spread it out that way as well. Kind of like what I already did in the majority of this section. That's kind of how it looks, right? So that's kind of what we're working with. However, it also helps with weed suppression because it'll protect the plant's roots. So that's another pro to it. But another con, if you let the leaves get into really big piles, especially after heavy rains, it'll actually, if it mats down the surface, that can cause, fungal diseases and things like that, because you don't want to suffocate it, right? It'll prevent sunlight, oxygen, nutrients, water from reaching the soil. So, but if you do a thin surface and you spread it out and you distribute it evenly, it should be fine. However, when you do that process, as it breaks down, the organic matter reaches the soil, you're actually using a lot more nitrogen during that process. So now's a good time as well to throw down some more nitrogen fertilizer. I did about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I put down the Yard Mastery 12-12-12, but I'll probably put down a little more nitrogen, something cheap, end of season. Looking to put my last app down maybe in a couple weeks. So that's pretty much that. But I got a lot to do, right? I got, like I said, those trees, and then this birch tree from the neighboring property just drops a whole bunch of leaves too. So, but that's kind of it. So let me know what you guys got going on. If you'd like to mulch your leaves, let me know your process, where you're from, and I look forward to talking to you in the next video. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching.